somebody. Good for you. You fooled everyone. Leave your weapon on the table, wrapped in burlap, barely able. Don't get angry, don't discourage. Take a shot of liquid courage. 'Cause my monsters are real, and they're trained how to kill. And there's no coming back, and they just laugh at how I feel. And these monsters can bite, and they'll never say die. And there's no going back, if I get trapped, I'll never heal. Yeah, my monsters are real. Good for you, you hurt everybody. Good for you, you hurt everyone.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Minnesota SpiritCast. I am your host, Marcus Welly, also lead investigator of Minnesota Spirit Hunters, actually, founder of Minnesota Spirit Hunters, and our lead investigator is in the comments right now. Lisa, thank you for being here. Can't wait to have you back on the show as normal as my co-host. So tonight, guys, we have a great show planned for you. As always, we have an amazing guest all the way from Canada. Everybody, please welcome Doug Curtis of Paratime Investigations. How's it going?
Hey man, what's up?
Not much.
I was
You
getting
know,
into I was getting into the song. I was like listening.
Were ya?
Yeah, it was fucking wicked. I was listening and I was just waiting and I forgot that I was on a show. It was really good.
No, you know what? And that song, honestly, when I think about me and the rest of my team,
Yeah.
it kind of fits us because, you know, I can't only say that some spirits and entities or whatever are monsters. My
Yeah.
team is a pack of monsters. I swear, I tell you that.
Wow, yeah, you got to be savage a little bit, right?
Absolutely,
gotta
absolutely,
be.
and that's all it's about. You know, we got Christy Curtis. Hello, thank you for joining.
That's the wife.
Oh, is it? Well,
Yeah.
thank you for joining. And we got whoever this paranormal consultant chick is.
Yeah, I don't know who that person is. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining, Matt. But Doug, it's going to be a great show. We've had this planned for quite a while.
Oh, I know it is. It's going to be.
yeah.
I know it's going to be a good show.
So I'm actually going to start with asking you, how the heck did you get into paranormal?
It's a little bit. I guess it's a little bit of everything because the first thing is I'm not a follower. I'm not a yes man in the sense of logical thinking. I guess it is because if someone says this is it and that is that, then I'm kind of like, well, why? Well, how come? You know, why is that? So I guess that's kind of the first thing. I always was like that, and then about I guess it's 3. Wow, is it 3 years now? Yeah, I think so. I was always playing around with apps and doing the paranormal thing and stuff, and we always have these. Well, my wife's here anyway, so we always have these get-togethers from our nieces and nephews and cousins and stuff, and we'd always play around with different apps and stuff. And my niece, she passed away a few years ago in a car accident. She was 15, and she was one of those people that kind of like doing that stuff with me and like talking about that stuff with me. And it was just a few months after that, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to do it and, see what happens and see what I can find out for myself. And ever since then, I'm trying to see what I can find for evidence, see what I can find for signs, because I'm not a straight ahead go-getter. I don't grasp and absorb everything for for evidence and stuff. I want to find my own stuff, and I don't believe with the hype, as I guess some people would say. So I guess that kind of give me the drive to do that. And I'm ever since then. Hey James, That's my other
Thanks for joining, James.
Canadian guy right there from Ontario. He's
Hey.
Central Canada, and I'm Eastern Canada. So
Oh, ain't that funny how that works?
Yeah, he's Central. He's Ontario. He doesn't matter. So
Right. No, but seriously, like it had to be kind of hard on you after she had passed away, considering this is what you did with her.
Yeah, it was. It kind of gave me the boost I needed to do this, because I've always been wanting to do this, and it's not even just the whole spiritual thing or whatnot. I know everybody always says, well, I don't do that. I don't think about that. But everybody thinks about life after death. Everybody thinks about what's going to happen if I don't wake up tomorrow. What's going to happen if, whatever. You can't not think about that stuff.
Right.
And
exactly.
that just kind of got me going a little bit. And so I went in full force. I hate to say that I just started 3 years ago, but then COVID kind of screwed things up for the last couple of years. But I actually managed to get some really good properties and have some really good connections to actually start 2022 off with ridiculous amounts of properties and customers. Right now, it's insane.
And you know what? I honestly can really relate to that. Before I get into this, Brian J. Laverty's here. You might want to bite your tongue about Ontario. So just to let you know, so you don't get in trouble with him. No, but seriously, like New Year's Eve, Matt, me, and Mason of MJC Paranormal, we had done a year-long live stream. So we went all the way through the night until it hit 2022, and in that live stream, I was really confident in my team, and I'm like, it's 2021. I'm gonna say things with no regrets or whatever. I'm gonna go into 2022, and we're gonna bust butt, and we're gonna do more than we've ever did.
Yeah.
And you know what? As soon as 2022 hit, I got like 6 cases all at once.
Yeah. It's because people are waiting now, and and they have all the policies and all the crap that's happened in the US and Canada and worldwide. And now people want that to happen. Like I said, I got my first case just coming this Friday, and I have about maybe 10 or 12 more through the year, because I don't want to pack too much in, because I don't like doing that. I like having a property, doing the proper things, taking the time to go through the evidence, presenting and all that stuff. So I only like doing like maybe one a month. Plus I'm solo right now too. So
Absolutely.
And I've been solo for quite a while. So I do a lot of stuff by myself. And now I was mentioning to you earlier about my brother doing the graphics and stuff, and he's going to help me a little bit with the filming and the evidence as well. So there may be 2 on the team, but I keep my team very minimum, very, very minimal team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got our boy Victor Santiago here. How's it going? And thank you for joining. Good to see you. So I know the feeling. Brian is solo as well. As fellow Canadians, you both are in Canada. Now, a question that I have for you guys, because the United States of America is huge. Like, there are so many states, and throughout all of the states, you never know how much stuff is haunted. There could be billions of places in the U.S. that is haunted.
Yeah.
Like this Saturday night. I don't want to give too much away, because I don't want all of our viewers to know what's going on yet, but everybody knows that we're doing a tattoo shop. We're doing a tattoo shop Saturday night.
Sweet.
Well, you wouldn't. I would never expect it to have an episode such as a tattoo shop.
Yeah.
And that's only 20 minutes away from me. So, like I'm saying, we've had homes, and the tattoo shops actually our very first business. So I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. But you don't know though, man. That's the thing about the paranormal and stuff too. And paranormal, as Matt said a million times too, it's not just spirits and ghosts and stuff. It's just anything beyond what we can comprehend and stuff like that too. So you think of, well, even America, even the East Coast as well,
Mhm.
it's the same as Canada. It's very old.
Mhm.
And well, even doesn't matter where it is. There's always something on top of something on top of something on top of something.
Absolutely.
You know, so you can never say that something doesn't have activity. There's always a place that has activity. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the woods, if it's a brand new building, or if it's an old creepy shack in the middle of the, you know, in the middle of the woods. There's always
Yes.
something.
Exactly.
There's
And
always something.
you know, I've stumbled across before I actually got into filming paranormal investigations. I've stumbled across on social media, even the woods were haunted, you know? You go in the
Absolutely.
woods and they're freaking haunted, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you look back, I don't know how big it is where you are too as well, but you look back in the Native American culture or
Mhm.
Indian culture or whatever you want to call it, Aboriginal here, there's a lot of terms, but um, you look back in that, and even along the river in the woods, there's always there there's always spirits and guidance and
Oh yeah.
energy, and that's the thing too, that not everything is you know, interactive and in your face and stuff too. A lot of it is
Yep.
just pure energy, pure just raw energy that you experience and feel when you're in a
Yep.
place. So people always think that there's like when you're an investigator, there's ghosts and there's people like rattling things and poking you and pulling you and scaring you and stuff. But there's other places that you go and it just takes your breath away,
Exactly.
and it just makes you dizzy and stuff. And it could just because just the massive amount of energy just from whatever it could be. It could be a battle there. It could have been
Absolutely.
an incident there, and it's just that, or it could be the environment. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't have to
Right.
be people. It could be the environment itself. But people
Yep.
don't understand that energy is caused by a lot of things.
And you know, we've stressed this a lot on our team. Just because let's say there was a home built yesterday
Yeah.
on 5 acres of land.
Mm,
Okay, so you know, a family moves in the following day after it's built,
yeah.
and there's paranormal activity in there, and
Right.
they're wondering why the heck is my house haunted. It can be the land. You know,
Yeah.
it depends on that land because you never know what happened on that land billions of years
No,
ago, you
you
know.
have no idea. Just because
So
there's trees up and you clear the trees, the trees weren't there, you know, 200 years ago, or they, you
exactly.
know, you have no idea what's going on there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. And this is a subject that I could talk about forever because there's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff to cover on it. And,
Yeah.
you
I
know, you
don't
just
shut up.
never
So
know.
I could talk forever about anything. So you just
Hey, you
lay
know
it
what?
on me.
We need some kind of show, don't we?
No, I'll ramble forever about anything. Doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Well, here's an interesting topic. Brian Laverty filming a
Listeners,
documentary/investigation over the last 3 days, wrapped up today.
damn.
That's
Three
definitely going to be fun to
days,
watch.
3 days filming, editing, wrapping up and doing in 3 days. Like I want that man's energy or whatever the hell he's
Absolutely.
doing,
And
because
you know what? I bet that's going to be one badass show right there. That's going to be a great show.
well, you know, it's good that you said that, because the thing that I find is a lot of people don't support, you know, other groups or other people's views or whatnot too as well. And
Yep.
it's not a whole about it's not always about, you know, Matt always does the the para unity thing and whatnot too as well. But it's everybody needs to support each other and to keep their eyes. And it's not just us in the paranormal community; it's
Yeah.
everybody in general
Absolutely.
needs to keep an open mind and just listen. And
Hmm.
even if it sounds crazy, you know what can happen. You know,
Absolutely.
man walked on the moon, and the world is round. And before that, people were like, "No, that's crazy. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? That's insane."
Right. Exactly.
So you have to keep an open mind on everybody's perspective, and I think that's very important. You don't have to always adapt it and say, "Actually, you know what? He's right," but it's always good to at least see it and learn it and absorb it and think smart and think consciously about it. But it
Yep.
always listen to other people's perspective That's always important. Always.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And everybody in this field, we all want to feel like we have a voice and
Yeah.
we're being noticed or whatever. And I
Yeah.
don't mean that because of we all want the views. We all want to be recognized for what we do. And that's the
Absolutely.
whole point of this pair unity thing that Matt and everybody else is doing.
Mm.
Everybody supports one another. There's no judgment. It's drama free, and it's just couldn't be a better program, honestly. Since he started that P3 program, I think it's one of the best programs I've been in because
Mm.
I can share whatever I want without and I know that we're not going to be judged for it. If
Right.
we went and investigated a car,
Mm.
something like that.
Yeah.
There's going to be some people out there to make fun and say,
Oh my God. Yeah.
yeah, they're going to say, that's really dumb. Why would you investigate a car? All of
Yeah.
this, but you never know. It doesn't
No.
matter what it is. It could be haunted. There's haunted cars out there.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, I'm not part of the whole P3 thing, but I absolutely agree. And you should always keep an open mind. You should never discredit anybody unless you know that they're total bullshit. I mean, because there are some people
you
they're
mean
bullshit.
like Matt Barron, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're full of shit. So but there are people, like, even if you go on YouTube and stuff, there are people that I used to watch all the time before I even did this, and you kept watching me like, you know what, there's no way that you can go to every place you go to, there's always something. That doesn't happen. That's not true. And there's a lot of places like that. So you have to keep an open mind. But at the same time, you have to keep a little bit of self-confidence as well, and stick with your guns, and be honest with your evidence. Don't doctor your evidence. Don't over exaggerate your evidence.
Right.
Don't try to put more attention on something that doesn't have to be. My thing is, and a lot of people don't kind of like the way I do a lot of things, but a lot of my stuff is, if it's not, if I can't see it, if I can't hear it, if I don't want to listen, I don't want to have to take off the filters.
Yep.
If I don't hear
then
it,
it don't exist.
It's bullshit. And if I can't see it and I have to zoom in and I have to look at the different things, it's bullshit.
Yep.
And if I need it, so if I might have maybe an overnight investigation, 30 hours of audio, 40 hours of videotape, whatever, but I might have 1-2 second thing that I'm like, what the hell is that? That's cool. That's really cool. And
Absolutely.
I don't care of the whole investigation. If I have one little 2-3 second clip, to me, that's awesome.
Yeah.
These people that go and always everywhere they go, there's something.
Yeah. Right.
To me, that throws the flags up in the air. And
well, see, so on December 18th, we went to well, you know what? Your wife is snitching on you.
Yeah,
she
does that. Yeah, she does that.
So December 18th, we went to this place called the Boyd House, and that was our episode that we just aired January 18th. Well, before we had went up there, another team had went over to the Boyd House and got nothing all night long whatsoever, anything. The moment that we walk in that house, you get instant vibes. You get equipment going off all night long.
There's that thing, right?
There's exactly. Like, it didn't
people don't get that.
Exactly. Like, and you know what? I can go to an investigation, and if I walk out of an investigation with not a single EVP, I don't care. Because
it's fine.
Because I went and had fun. I did my investigation, and that is all that matters. I'm not out here for the views,
No, and it's true. You don't have to do something. You don't always have to find something. You don't always have to prove something as well. If somebody doesn't agree with what you say, that's fine. It's water off my back, or whatever they say, water off a duck's back. But the cool thing is just kind of what you said, is that a lot of people don't understand when you're going to a place and it's charged or there's something there. Not a lot of people get that. When you walk into a place, you might not get anything or might not get much, but when you walk into a place, there's certain places you walk in and you're like, holy shit, like this is
exactly
crazy.
Exactly.
You just get that punch in your face of energy, or I don't know what it is, but you
Yep.
just know, like, I don't know what I'm going to get today, but this is insane. Like, I can't even think right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you walk in these places, and that's not the first thing on your mind. You don't walk in to feel anything. You walk in like,
Yeah.
holy crap, I'm finally here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, and I had the Boyd House. I had that scheduled for a little over a year, and then back in October, Lisa actually hosted her very first investigation on her own at Edinburgh Manor in Iowa. Well, that one was also planned for a whole year. And just the fact that the team was able to get out to Iowa and go to Edinburgh Manor, that's all I cared about. That was super awesome.
It's cool. It's cool just to
Yeah.
go to old places. See, I'm a big, not only on paranormal, I don't, like, a lot of people don't follow me in the States and stuff too, but my thing isn't just the paranormal. My passion as well is history and urban legends, and promoting the community and promoting stories in the community and making events and stuff available for the community, and kind of tying everything all together. So I'm a big history buff anyway. So even if you don't go somewhere that has nothing, just to be in some place where something happened is pretty fucking amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we need to hear some kind of story from you. Christy says, we lived in a place that I hated closing the bathroom door. I felt this vibe and felt like I was being watched.
Yeah. That's pretty screwy. That's kind of crazy. You always hear stories about apartment buildings and stuff. And it's funny because I never talk about this, which is weird, because it's funny that you asked that. Thanks a lot for that, Christy. We lived in a place downtown in this other city, and people always said about, it's just this little place, about activity there. Sometimes the doors would open and close, the cupboards and stuff. And this was years ago, and nobody heard anything. And meanwhile, my wife, Christy, was sleeping beside me, this little bachelor apartment. I'm on the computer talking with somebody. We're FaceTiming and stuff. And back in the day, you don't really, you kind of chat, but you don't really FaceTime. Yeah. And this girl, she's like, say hi to Christy for me. I was like, I will. I'll tell you. I'll tell her when she wakes up. And she goes, no, she just went to the bathroom. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, she just walked by you. She went to the bathroom. And I was like, no, she's like right here beside me. It's like, she didn't go in the washroom, like right behind you and go in the door. And it's like,
what the heck?
No. And anyway, yeah. So that was pretty crazy. So that goes to show you that even places that you go in and you're comfortable with and you live around and you're used to the things, and which goes to another a whole other avenue. Like I said, I can ramble on about anything, but there's other places that you go and you can be comfortable with, but people might not say is haunted, because they're used to the creaks and cracks and sounds and voice and thumps, and they just chalk it off as whatever it is. And there's places that you go and you hear things and you're attentive to it and you're like, what the hell is that? But that tells you a lot of things. Like, some people could be living in a house for 10, 20 years and say, no, God, this place ain't haunted. No. Yeah. And you go in there and it lights up like a Christmas tree.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And like you said before, you never know what you're going to walk into, no matter where you go, it can take you by surprise sometimes, And this Edinburgh Manor that we went to is actually an old asylum. It was used as a floor farm.
Dude, really?
Yes, dude, it's super awesome. You got to come to US and go with us.
Oh my God, I would love to go in an asylum. I've never been to an asylum, and the only one that they had here, they actually tore down. So I'm not anywhere near an asylum, and I would love to go. I've been to prisons and museums and all that stuff, but I have never been to an asylum.
So a good question for you is, would you ever consider coming to the US to go to one?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of things I'd like to explore. And I know the US is actually, well, not just US, but I know there's a lot of old history and a lot of old towns in the US.
Oh, absolutely.
And the thing that I like about the States, and people can say whatever they want to, I don't care, but the thing about the States is they keep their history. There's an old house, they keep it. There's an old bank, they keep it and they repurpose it into something else. And
Absolutely.
here where I am, and a lot of places in Canada, they're like, oh yeah, that's an old house. Let's bulldoze it down and let's build up something else.
Yeah.
And I find a lot of places in the States, they hold on to that and they keep the structures. And that's, to me, that's amazing. I'd love to look at some of that stuff. Yeah.
And you know what? So there's this place over in Pine City, Minnesota, that it's an old sanitarium, and it's called Pekegama.
Oh,
And
cute.
right now, half of this building, well, the building is nothing but debris itself. That's all it is. It's debris.
Yeah.
You know, it still has somewhat of a structure, but
That's
it's almost
awesome.
all torn down.
I love
Half
that.
of the
Yeah.
building itself, you know, is ash and debris and everything. Well, you know, yeah, maybe if somebody bought that, building it back up into a structural place that is suitable for investigators to go in, you know,
Right.
but
Yeah.
completely changing everything and making it absolutely like beautiful or whatever, I would never do that because, you know,
Oh,
it loses
so
its
much.
value.
Yeah, there's so much character in a lot of that old structure and the old design and whatnot too as well, right?
Mhm.
There's so much to it, and I love that when people keep that, because it's not just holding on to the past. It's kind of, it's a history lesson for the young kids, and that's a big thing for me. Is you know, you got these new millennials and these new kids that are coming up with technology and stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, they can ticky tack anything on Google and all that stuff and figure out
Absolutely.
anything. But you take them to an old place and say, yeah, this is exactly what something looked like back in 18 blah blah. And
Yeah.
this is what it looks like. You're in it, you're standing in it. That's, to me, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. I love it.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like there's some explaining to do, Doug, because apparently you're not too far from us.
Closer to Minnesota. Really?
Closer
Really?
than Minnesota? What do you mean by that?
What's that
Yeah.
mean? Than
Yeah, like
Minnesota.
closer than
What's than what?
closer than Minnesota?
That's the matter for you. What's that mean?
That would be super awesome. Like I would easily, because I've been talking recently that I would love to come to Canada and just see how it is over there, you know. But
You
I would
don't come here
easily-
because you'll never go back. So don't come here.
Okay, so a myth that I've heard, Canada is super expensive. Is that true?
Well, it depends, because it depends on where you are. Now, Ontario and stuff like that, like Western Canada, Central Canada, it's not really expensive because it's a lot of it is, I don't want to say ignorance, but it's what you get paid. What do they call it? The cost of living there, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
a lot of it is just equal to the cost of living, right? So a hotel might, or a apartment might be $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month, but you're also getting paid $20 an hour, $25 an hour, $30 an hour,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So it depends on where you go. Now, on the East Coast, excuse me, where I am, like where I'm talking from, and I'm not just saying this, is that New Brunswick is pretty much the armpit of Canada.
Yeah.
We have the lowest minimum wage. We have, we're one of the poorest provinces. We have the highest taxes. We have everything. It's pretty expensive compared to the way we live.
Yeah.
But if you just have to be smart about it, right? You just have to be smart about how you travel. Like what we go to the States, the exchange rate kills us. But my wife and I, we actually eloped and got married in Salem, Massachusetts on Halloween 5 years ago. And we enjoy going back to Massachusetts every year. So we do that. And the exchange rate kills you. But if you do anything smart, then you don't have to. It's not like a crusher on the bank account, you know. If you got buddies, and you want to go investigate, say if you're coming here to New Brunswick, guess what? We'll do something that you don't have to pay for. For lodging, you don't have to pay for this, you don't have to pay for that, and it saves a lot of cost, right?
Absolutely.
So that's where the whole sticking together thing comes from, is just helping each other out.
Absolutely. So Matt says he's technically closer to drive to you than he is to drive to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where's he? Pennsylvania, right?
Pennsylvania. Yep.
Yeah, I think he's like 11 hours away or something like that.
Well, I think maybe I would be even closer than he is, honestly.
That's the homework for tonight, is see who's closer to who. I think that's important.
Yes.
That's the homework.
Yes. you know what? And actually, that's a good question. You said you're in New Brunswick. We're about to look it up right now.
Yes, New Brunswick is in basically what the Canada calls the Maritimes, which is I call Paratime, which is the name of my group, Paratime, because the paranormal Maritimes. So I call it the Paratime.
Okay, so with light traffic, it would take 1 day and 1 hour, so 1,827 miles.
That's not bad.
Not horrible.
You start now. You're here on Friday. Just get going right now. Let's just stop this now, and we'll see you on Friday.
All right, see ya. No. No, but seriously, like coming to Canada is been a interest of mine because you know what? Like I've only been to a few different places in my life. You know, I've been to I grew up in Tennessee, I grew up in Indiana and Kentucky as well. And then I've been to Ohio and Minnesota. And that's it. You know, and I want to see new states of the United States, but I also want to see what it's like to be in another country. You know, I think it'd be super cool.
And you know what? If you have people along the way, that this is what I like about this whole collaboration of people that you know that get along and stuff is because if you're heading out this way, the same thing is I'm talking to somebody in Ontario right now. He has relatives in Eastern Canada, so we're trying to collaborate and do something. If he comes over to do something here, if I go down into Massachusetts way to New Hampshire or whatnot, there might be somebody there that might say, hey, dude, come over here and check this out. So the same thing with you. If you go up to Ontario or over to Montreal or over my way, there should always be someone going like, here, come here, stay here, take a look at this. Come here, look at this. And that just reduces in cost, and it also just expands everybody's mind, and you get to work with different people, the way that people work and think, and it's amazing. It's
absolutely
amazing.
I absolutely agree with you. So Brian had mentioned the Blue Ghost Tunnel. Do you know anything about that?
Never heard of it. No, that I have no idea what the Blue Ghost Tunnel is.
Sounds interesting, very much.
Anything with a tunnel sounds good,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. There's I don't want to give too much away about what I'm doing this year, but there's some elements. I'm kind of a big advocate on mental health, and a lot of things I do and a lot of things I did last year. We do certain things, and I'd always do fundraisers. I think I raised like 2,000 something for mental health last year. Nothing crazy, but through like little things. And this year I'm going to add a little bit of elements towards mental health, because when you think about certain situations in certain areas and certain places, I don't want to get too much into it because we'll be here all night, but it's true, because I'm different than a lot of people. I enjoy history, but I also enjoy the psychological part of it as well, as far as the event that happened, or what the person was thinking, what they experienced back then, or the person that was in this area, this is what it looked like back then, and what would you think if you were in this area and it was lit like this, if it looked like this and pictured like this, what would go through your mind? Would this happen to you? And if this crazy events happen, what would you do? And I always like putting myself in those shoes to do that. And a lot of times I have done that. I have slept overnight on death row and locked myself in different places just to feel that emotion and to think about that. Right. So I think that's very important. That's very important.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Couldn't agree with you more. We, after the show, we definitely have to talk about you sleeping on death row. That is super cool. That is awesome. So everybody knows that you are the lead of Paratime Investigations. Could you tell us a little bit about what Paratime Investigations is about?
I think the main thing over anything else It has nothing to do. It has very little. Well, let's see. If you're grading things, it has to do with history and community and community bonding and people getting along, and then you add the paranormal into that as well.
Yeah.
So to me, bottom line is paranormal. It really is. But the most important thing is to bring the history of your area around you and make it known to people in your area and your community and the local communities. So the more you get into papers, the more you get into Facebook, the more people hear about you, and the more you start looking in local areas. They'll say, "Hey, I know that place. Oh, I know that place." And you start adding to the story, and that makes people know more about it, because a lot of history now is gone. It's usually before, through word of mouth and stuff. So
yes,
or you could read it on Wikipedia, which is always true, but besides that, you don't have much to go on. So I like bringing local history to areas and just punching people in the face with history and the story first, and then looking for evidence of maybe somebody's still here. But my priority is history and people learning about the area, and then seeing what's up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's it sounds like you're built on a really strong foundation, and a lot of the teams that we associate with, everybody seems to have a great idea of what's going on, and over time, even myself, we're all still learning from each other.
Oh my God, yeah.
There's not one day that goes by in the paranormal field that I don't learn something new.
There's no such thing as a veteran. There's no such thing as a veteran.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
I don't agree. Because you could learn. I've only been in this business in this hobby for 3 years or so, but I've always been doing it for years. But you could be in the place 20 years, and you can learn from somebody that's been there a week. They could find something that you've never looked at. They could say something that you never thought about, and you're like, holy crap, I never even thought about that. I've never thought about trying that.
Right.
So
exactly.
You have to leave your ego behind, and you have to keep an open mind and not be arrogant and self-centered, and whatever I say goes, and I'm going to command you to do this. You have to keep an open mind,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Couldn't agree more. So since you're based out of sorry, I'm probably gonna butcher this word, but
butcher it up.
Maritimes?
Maritimes?
Yeah, Maritimes.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting to me. Is that a province of Canada, or is it just?
It's kind of actually it's kind of cool, because we're our own little section of Canada, really. Canada in itself is a whole, but the Maritimes is just a group of 3 provinces. History lesson for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure you do, but US has states, Canada has provinces. So in the East Coast, we have a group of 3 provinces that are connected to each other. We have New Brunswick, which is connected here, and then there's Nova Scotia, and then PEI and Prince Edward Island, and that's the little group, the little 3 circles of provinces that are called the Maritimes, and a lot of history out of that place. It would, if I told you things, it would blow your mind from the Maritimes. It's extremely famous. I mean, the Titanic actually sunk just off the coast of the Maritimes. And,
no way.
Yeah, and the bodies were all brought to places in the Maritimes laid to rest and buried there. There's a Titanic graveyard just 6 hours away from here.
Yeah. Wow.
There's a lot of things that happened in the Maritimes. A lot of shipwrecks, a lot of pirate stories, a lot of stuff like that happened here, because this is the first place that you come in Canada, just like what is it, Massachusetts and New York and all this stuff down in the States. We're the easternmost part of Canada, so that's where all the Vikings come and the pirates come and a lot of stuff too. So you get a lot of history here. So there's a lot of good history.
Well, for any of my hunters in the comments right here, Lisa, I know you're in here. Pack your bags. We're going to the Maritimes.
Hell yeah. Come look at the Titanic graveyard and
Dude,
look at some of the other stuff. I'll show you some stuff. Don't worry.
heck yeah, man. That would be super. Now you got me wanting to come to Canada for sure. That sounds freaking awesome, man.
Yeah. There's always something to see. I mean, like you said, you can't always think that nothing's there. Like you said about the tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always something. So no matter where you go, if you meet up with a crew or a group, there's always going to be something that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, speaking of going to places, I have been talking to her before, but it's good to see a new face in here. Actually, my sister's mom is here.
Nice.
And she's been talking to me about having my team to come out and check out her place because there's a lot of paranormal things going on around there. So
that's cool.
You know, that's another thing that we're going to get on our agenda. Our agenda is crazy right now, you know, and we're just adding more stuff every day. I bet you I've scheduled 6 podcasts within the last 3 days. And I got a whole long waiting list.
I saw that. I was going through to see where I was because I forgot about this until you messaged me. I have to admit, because I'm stupid. So I was going through and I was going through and I saw like April, May, and all the stuff going through, and I was like, holy shit. And I was going down. And I was like, wow,
like,
there I am right there. Yeah. Scrolling.
You are the man of the Minnesota Spear Hunters tonight.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things. Well, this is your show, but so I gotta shut up a little bit. But
oh no, you don't. Keep on going, man. I love to talk. I sure do.
Yeah, but I have a lot of different theories and a lot of different questions, and I always, I don't know, sabotage people's shows. I guess
Hey, you know what? That's why we're here. We're here to have a good time.
Matt's got to be used to that. I always cut him off and ask him stupid questions all the time. And but see, with me, I don't know about you guys, but I'm curious to always know about different groups and organizations because with me, I have what I call evasive and non-evasive investigations. And the non-evasive are for people who want to know something's there, but they really don't want people tramping around in their property.
Yeah.
And they don't want full on contact. And so what I do is like a light form of investigation. And I do a non-evasive thing. I set traps. I set audio and video, and I set what did God damn it.
Well, we got somebody buttering you up there.
Anyway, what? Definitely.
We got somebody buttering you up right now.
Oh, I paid him a lot of money.
You paid him. Whoa, Matt, calm down, buddy.
but there's a lot of different things. For me, there's and I always talk to the client and ask them and I describe exactly what I'm talking about if they wanted an evasive or non-evasive investigation. And I think for me, that's important because it opens up a lot more areas for investigators. And I think investigators should look at something like that because people do investigations and they come in there with teams of, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 20, and they go in and go to different rooms and talk and do this and do that for 24 hours, 12 hours, 10 hours. But there's also the non-evasive. If people just want to know if there's something there, I always do, I'll do like a baseline of the property. And then I always... I
think you're in trouble, Doug.
There's no trouble. There's no trouble there.
Oh, you know what? Our guest goes on the top, sir.
I was going to say, what are you doing?
Ain't no thing but a chicken wing.
What is up?
No, so Matt, okay. Well, this is Doug's spotlight, but you are charging for your podcast now?
Wait, what? Since when?
Well, Doug paid you. He paid you to be nice.
You know what? It might be Mr. Fedora. That's probably what happened. You probably sent it to Mr. Fedora.
No, I dish out, but I don't get sponsors or feedbacks. I just do my own thing. I'm a Wolverine, if you will.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
me.
You know what, Matt? This comment is really messed up because
This is slander.
You are charging the man to investigate his own yard.
See, now this is
By the way,
slander here.
by the way, Mason, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. But yeah, Doug, I definitely think that it would be super awesome to eventually make our way out to the Maritimes. That would be so cool.
Yeah, I think you could. There's a lot of stuff to do here at it, and well, even on the way, there's like I said, there's those 3 provinces right there, and there's a million things you can do,
Yeah,
which is pretty friggin' awesome.
absolutely.
And it could keep you going. And it's not even just, to me, it's not only just about the ghosts and the spirits and whatnot, but it's about the energy and the just the scenery and the beauty and stuff as well. It
Absolutely.
Sometimes has nothing to do with ghosts. It has nothing to do with that.
Hey, Matt, should we go to the Maritimes tonight? If we get going now, we'll be there by Friday. Well, you'll be there tomorrow.
Hold on.
How long?
I got 12 amps. Well, we're good. Let's go.
How long does a pizza stay warm?
That's a great question.
17
hours, maybe.
Well, see, here's the thing: if it's not in a hot bag,
little vinyl, one of those little vinyl bags or whatever.
Yeah, if it's not in a hot box, believe it or not, this is honest to God truth. It's 10 degrees per second. Now, when it comes out of the oven is set at 365 degrees. So when it comes out of the oven, it immediately starts losing temperature.
Well, it's like a car. As soon as it leaves the lot, it starts losing value.
Exactly.
Like that.
Exactly. Then you just throw it back in the oven.
No. Yeah.
This is so true, Matt. You are like the ex that never leaves.
Yeah, she's like one of those. But I love you. But I love you. Stay with me.
Never mind. I was gonna say something, but this is your show.
So, Doug, what types of services do you offer to your clients? And if I may ask,
that's kind of personal.
Right? Was there a waiver sign for this?
Sure. You know what? Like you said, there's no filter. Whatever.
I massage certain parts that only above the waist.
No, I mean paranormal.
No, what are you saying? Go ahead.
Okay, so what types of services, like investigations, or have you ever been involved in a what's it called? A possession or anything like that? Like well, what am I trying to say here?
If I get the nasty, if I haven't seen anything, if I've seen any shit.
I mean, yeah.
I guess
as what I mean, like, do you offer cleansings, investigations?
No,
or
not at all. No cleansings.
No.
Okay. No, I don't. Because, like I said, I'm a different thing. I'm a unicorn, I guess it is in the paranormal industry. There's certain things I believe in. There's certain things I don't. I only support things that I see and I understand and I believe in. So as far as cleansings, people can do whatever they want to. They can go to whatever religion they want. They can use crystals. They can use smoke. They can use whatever they want. They can sage themselves, whatever they feel comfortable with. But myself, I don't sage. I don't do blessings. I don't do prayers. I don't do anything. But that's myself. And but again, that's the fine line that I think that I want to play with in the next couple of years.
Yes.
Between paranormal, between psychiatry, between mental health, between all that stuff. I think there's a fine line between that. And I think that people have to experiment between that to figure out what's what before they start saying, you need this to do this, you need that to do that. Because if I don't need holy water, or I don't need to say something in Aramaic or something, I don't want to.
Yeah,
because and you might not have to, because it might not be it. So that's where I am on the experimental cause of it, and a lot of people don't like that, but I don't think that anybody should really care, because it's me, and if whatever happens, if it's bad, that happens to me. If it's good, it happens to me. At least this way, I can tell if this works or that works, and I can kind of advise accordingly. If you do it 100 times and 99 out of 100 this happens, then you know this is okay. So
Exactly.
you know, that's what I
Exactly.
think. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? Everybody, no matter what kind of team you're on, if you're solo or if you have a team of people, everybody has their own style of handling
Absolutely.
a case. You know,
Absolutely.
you might just go in, you do your investigation just to see what's there.
Yeah.
Other people do their investigation to see what's there. When they find out what's
Mhm.
there, they try to find a method to keep it from hurting anyone, or they
Yeah.
sage, or they cleanse, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, everybody has their own style to handle each case.
Yeah.
So,
And you know what? The thing is too, is that everybody has their own beliefs and belief system.
yes.
Because you could be a Christian and you could believe this. You could be a Native American and believe this. You could be Pentecostal and believe this. You could be agnostic and believe this. The same thing's going to happen in your house no matter what religion you are.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. So what if I was an agnostic and this stuff happened to my house and this other person from this other religion is telling me what to do? Do I listen to them or do I do something else? You know,
Right.
that's what I think should be experienced.
Exactly.
It should be thrown around, and it shouldn't be A, B, and C. And I don't think with the paranormal there should be steps of A, B, and C. There should be there's numerous options.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is
It's also-
interesting. Go
Well,
ahead.
Sorry, guys. It's also been said too on numerous shows that the paranormal is not an exact science. There's a reason for that, and you guys
Yeah.
are absolutely right. Not one person is an expert, and if anybody claims to be an expert, they're full of it.
Yeah.
Number one, because everybody's way of doing things can be right. We can all achieve the same goal by putting our talents
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I said before. But to him,
Yeah.
there's no such thing as a veteran. To me, there's no such thing
Exactly.
as a veteran. And the same thing with proof or the way to maybe get rid of something. It could be something totally different. There could be 15 different ways. You know what? If I have whatever, say if I have acne, guess what? There's like 30 different ways to get rid of acne.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. There's no one way. And if
Mhm.
I have asthma, which I do, there's not one way to get rid of asthma. There's tons of different ways. Anxiety, panic attacks, there's tons of different ways. So why in the paranormal field does it have to be this way? You have to walk this line. You have to say these things. You have to do these things. And I don't like that. I don't agree with that. There's a plethora. I said plethora. I
got
did.
it. That was good. Yeah, that was good.
I
That was
did.
good. I love that. It's been a while since I've heard
That
that.
was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to start using that too. Man.
Yeah, there's a plethora of ways to do things, and I don't think anybody should have their head in their ass and they're walking proud saying, "I am this person. You do this and do that, and you're cleared." I think that's bullshit. I don't like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better, honestly. That's a great answer.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I know it is.
So, in the 3 years that you've been investigating, do you have a pre and post investigation routine that you take, like for equipment setup? Do you have to figure out what you're going to use, or
No, well, I always, like I've said to Matt before too, and a lot of people, I don't know how gung ho they are, because some people kind of make me a little nervous when they do that. But I always do. I'll do a phone call first with the person, which literally, I'll tell you right now, because I'm doing an investigation on next Friday, and this is exactly what I did. You contact the person, you talk to them, you get the history of the place, and you talk to them to see what's up, what's going on, what's happening.
Yeah.
So you get the information, and then you go to the place, and then I always take a baseline reading before I do anything. Take a baseline.
Yep.
Always take your EMF, take your audio, take your everything, go around the whole entire place, go through walls, stairways, stairwells, everything, and do that, because nothing annoys me more. And I'm just one of those people, I guess, but nothing pisses me off more than people that go through and they're like, oh my God, this place, look at this. It's going crazy. It's going crazy. And you're like, dude, there's a junction box right above your fucking head that you didn't even look at because you didn't do the baseline in the first place. So I
Mhm.
always do a baseline, always. And then I set up my cameras accordingly, maybe to what they say or what they experience. They'll do the cameras
Yep.
and whatnot, angling to what they say. And then I'll just experiment on, depending on how aggressive or non-aggressive people are. And I'll try triggers,
Yeah.
depending. But I do it. It changes. There should be no set way of doing something anyway. Besides the baseline and the pre-interview, there should be nothing as I do this, that, and this. It should just
Yeah.
be besides the pre-interview and the baseline. Other than that, it could go any way, depending on where it is and what happens and what's going on. But that's the main thing. The most important thing: baseline, baseline, baseline. And people don't do that.
Exactly.
And that pisses me off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what you do before the investigation. Do you have
Always.
right, exactly. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
When we get a case, what we always do is first we have a meeting between the client, myself, and my lead investigator, which is Lisa. And we have this meeting, and I write down everything that they're saying, and I put it all together, and then we'll schedule a walkthrough, which is where we go out and we do our baseline on the walkthrough. You know, and then we will examine the EVPs, the footage, everything that we get off of that pre-investigation walkthrough. And that is so much more helpful when you go in for the real deal. Because
I agree. I definitely
know
agree.
exactly some places that you're going to need to focus more on. You know where you need to set.
Did you just call me a moron? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I was talking to Matt.
I'm not.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm all
Sorry,
over the place. I'm all over the place.
I'm listening to this new show I'm watching. I don't know.
The only thing that I would change about that is I'm kind of paranoid with certain things.
Yeah.
I'm very what you say, Houdini like with certain things.
Yeah.
And I don't like being preempted. If anybody knows what that means, being preempted with certain things. So sometimes I prefer to do the baseline first and then get the information of what people are experiencing to not be preempted into being lowered into a corner or lowered into a certain room. Because if you do a baseline, you're like, okay, this is clear. We got to hit on the stairs. We got to hit on this room, that room. And then if someone says, I got this weird feeling going in my living room, doing blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, yeah, the living room is off the charts because there's a massive bar going through here, power bar. So sometimes I really try to stay away from being preempted to anything. And so I like listening to stories. And I'll listen to people doing stories, but I prefer to do the baseline first and then have people doing the stories and record it so I can mix it in with my videos. But I'm a big paranoid person.
Hey,
about,
you're
cautious.
I don't like
that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I don't like being preempted because if someone says, because the thing is with the paranormal, if you go into a house and someone says, my rocking chair rocks all the time by itself. My rocking chair, it never stops. There's a black shadow in my rocking chair. There's this on the rocking chair. What are you guys going to do? You're going to put all your cameras in the rocking chair. You're going to put your audio by the rocking chair. You're going to put your SLS in the rocking chair. You're going to sit there for like 8 hours on the rocking chair because that's what they say. But what you don't know could be happening behind you or upstairs or down the basement because you've been preempted already. This is the place that they're focused on. This is what they want the attention. And you wasted all your time on this one little thing that they talked about. So that's what I always do. I don't know. I'm yammering on, but that's my thing.
No, that makes a lot of sense now that I hear it.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually, we're going to have to try a different way on the next one because that makes so much sense after I hear you say that.
It is. Do the baseline first and then get the story, but don't let them know what you got from the baseline. Just hear the story aside from what you got from the baseline, compare it, and then do your investigation.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, good thing I brought you on the show. See, like I said,
it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, there's not one day that I don't learn something new, and I just learned something new. That is awesome.
And you
We're gonna
shouldn't.
definitely
You
be
should
doing that.
learn something every day, but from
Absolutely.
everybody. I learned
Absolutely.
from Matt, you can drink 3 amps without your heart bursting. I learned that from him.
3. I had 3 on my show earlier.
I learned that Matt has amp in his bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
I have an amp and an uncle. Does that matter? You know? That was a dad joke. I'm sorry. That was a dad joke.
No, you're good. That was good. I think we're all dads here. We're all dads here, so we appreciate that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Speaking of which, where is the star of the show? I heard her earlier.
Staring a hole through me.
You're on live without me, Raina.
How dare you?
Grow up on daddy.
I heard her. She's got some lungs, man. She's got lungs. I told him, I said, watch out. When she gets like 6 or 8 years old, you watch out because she will let you know where she is.
Yep.
She's going to be hosting.
Yeah.
She will be hosting.
Pretty much.
I tell you what. Tell you what,
Bobby.
Right. So, Doug, is there any specific equipment that you use, or is there some equipment that you try to stay away from?
There's a couple of things that I like using. I enjoy using. Some of it is for myself, and some of it is just for, whatever. But the main thing I like is audio. I like trusting my audio, and you have to be careful what you use to record and what you use for all that. But you can't fake audio. You really can't. Depending on what you use, you can't fake it, especially if there's only you guys around. You can't fake it. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The other things.
I'm sorry. I am not trying to laugh. I'm not trying to laugh right now, but this comment is freaking hilarious.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to go back to the first time I met Minnesota. Just put para in front of everything. Para amp, para sage.
Yep. No, but that's really funny. Sorry, I wasn't trying to laugh, but absolutely, I heard what you said. And there is certain equipment that we have so much equipment right now, and most of our equipment is the unique equipment. Like you can't find it every day. We get a lot of our equipment through our sponsor Jesse Stewart with These Ghosts, and it's really unique. And there is some equipment that I absolutely don't really want to try because
there's a lot of stuff where the science isn't there, and a lot of stuff is gimmick, and a lot of it is like I would love to have a geophone because it measures footsteps, but guess what? It doesn't always measure footsteps. Yeah, it doesn't, because you could have it on the fucking stairs, and you could be living in this place. I know I lived in a apartment that when a transport truck goes by, the whole house shakes. So it doesn't mean that someone's walking. It could be in a car's going by. So that geophone is out the window. There could be things like the paranormal puck and stuff that talk to you and answer questions. But guess what? They put a voice program in that, so it could actually answer intelligently to you. So the puck's out the window. And there's a lot of things that can do that bother me, because if you actually add, human intelligence into something, it's not giving you real natural information back. So I prefer something that gives you natural information back, gives you energy readings, gives you wind readings, gives you audio readings, vocals, gives you, stuff like that. I don't believe in a lot of things. Static electricity is actually pretty good too as well. But there's a lot of things that I think are gimmicky, and I apologize if I insult anybody, but I'll continue to say that until I use it and get actual feedback from it. I won't knock anything until I get like feedback from it, but a lot of it is gimmicky. Yeah,
absolutely. Doug, we have a question for you. What are your thoughts?
Sagittarius. What?
7.
What was
4.
it? What on using phone apps? I don't like.
What are your thoughts on using phone apps for spirit communication?
No, I don't like using those. The only reason why is because it's okay, but the thing is that if you're going to use that, then turn your location off, because a lot of places, if you're in a cemetery, a lot of places I'll find, if you're in a cemetery and you have your location on and you don't realize you have it on, it'll mention things to you that are in the area. You're like, train. Oh my God, there's a train yard nearby. Lake. Oh my God, there's a lake right over here. And because it's triangulating where you are and it's telling you things that's around you to answer your questions, which really isn't fair. It's kind of like a gimmick, and that's terrible. So I would like to try that. Actually, that's a very good thing. There's 2 apps that I would like to try. I don't want to say, don't you guys ever fucking do this until I do it, but it'd be good to use it without location, with and without location, to see what happens. And also, I would love to use the face recognition apps on a haunted place or a particular haunted place to see if the apparitions actually can draw, facial recognition.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Actually, there is one app, and I'm going to say this: I'm not a fan of apps at all.
No,
period.
no.
I'm not. But there is one that I found, and actually, I've said this on my show a couple of times. This device right here that I picked up, it was at like a discount store, like it's a Five Below. Basically, you download an app, you turn it on, and it actually goes 360 degrees. Turn it on any angle. Works off of an app on its own, but it does pick up on facial recognition, bodies, stuff like that, and it will record. So I actually tried this out on an investigation just to see what it would do, and it does work. Even
so motion is it motion?
It's kind of like motion, but it picks up on a signature of some kind. But yeah, it's basically a vlogging tool. If somebody like a skateboarder or somebody like that is trying to record a video,
it follows.
It'll follow them.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's like a dumbed down SLS version.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
It works.
Awesome.
It works wonderful.
Yeah,
it works
now,
wonderful.
I don't want to say like for whoever asked that question, I don't want to say that those things don't work. I would just like to use. I would like to use the A and B towards that. I would like to use, say, 1 hour with location on, 1 hour with location off. And then using the other one as well, say even the what is it, the Ghost Hunter app or whatnot that tells you things, the triangulation with it on and off, just to see what happens. Because I don't think we should discredit anything. Really, you shouldn't, because that's just ignorant, right?
And I'm glad you said that, because in the paranormal field, you never know what's going to work. So giving a chance to whatever is going to be. It's going to be the best way to go,
but give results. Give results.
Yeah,
so with that,
I was just going to say it's all up to validation is what it comes down to. Can you validate?
And you know what?
In
the paranormal field, validation and clarification is number one.
And even the tiniest bit of insight in something. I mean, people, went in space and they did this and they give us glimpses of stuff, and we still took that as evidence that there is something out there. So the same thing as with the paranormal too. You could try something different and it gives you a little bit of speck of something, but it gives you more peek into, hey, let's explore this a little bit more. But if some guy is going with some kind of weird thing and some kind of barometer and fucking umbrella and something, and they're doing something, but nothing comes out of it, I don't care, because that's great that you're trying new things, golf clap for you, but that doesn't give you anything to prove or to give results. And I want results, and I want to be, so that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Which I know some people are going to hate me for this, but
I don't like
I don't like me either, but which is why I don't use an obulus. And I know people are going to hate me. An obulus, you can't tell me that you can take an EM field and make words out of it. I'm sorry.
No, well, that's the same thing I was saying about the paranormal puck. Is the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It
triangulates you and knows where you are, and it asks. It has a dialogue of, say, 10,000 words. So if you're going to ask a question, it's going to program it to answer the same way you are. Where are you? Woods. Where about? Okay, I'm in the woods. Where did you go? Left. Okay, let's left. Where do I look? Rocks. Okay, there's rocks here. There's rocks.
Over
Let's
the cliff.
look for rocks. Yeah, exactly. And some of that is, again, what I go with preemption. There's a lot of preempted stuff that is bad for people. And I think Matt had a guy on a long time ago. I forget his name because I forget everybody's name. He was in the field for a long, long time. And I remember him saying that he went to this investigation or this place, and everybody had all this gear and equipment and all this stuff. and I forget who it is, Matt, but they had like a recorder and like a notebook or something, and that was it. And that's all they used. And a lot of it is, I totally agree with that, is that if you just trust in yourself and trust your instincts and trust your thoughts.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing, is just to go with the flow of things in your head. You might be like, I don't know, I feel like I'm fucking crazy, but I want to go to the garage right now. Go to the garage and see what happens. Just follow your instincts and use your olfactory senses, or whatever they call it. Use those because they actually do. They sense danger. They sense changes. They do, and you have to follow that.
Absolutely. We have another question. Would you rather use a spirit box or a digital recorder, or both, on an investigation?
I like spirit boxes. I do like the SB7s. I use the SB7 all the time, and I like it. And I tell you what, that most times I don't get a lot. Sometimes I get some responses. Sometimes I get nothing. And sometimes I get amazing responses. And I can't deny that. I can't deny the SB7, because the odds of somebody answering a question exactly specifically. Now, I'll tell you one thing. I did a video. I don't know if I put it on YouTube or not, but there's this gentleman, long story. I'm going to be compiling it for the year and doing a year-end kind of big thing about it. But he was hung for a murder of somebody here. And I asked the guy how old he was when he died, and it said 22. And the odds of me asking that question and the gentleman saying 22 at the exact same time when I asked that, and it being correct, is 1 in a billion to me. So I do put a lot in Spirit Box, but you have to do it right, and you have to let it warm up. You have to let it do a lot of things before you just let it go all willy-nilly, you know. So, but I do like Spirit Box, and I leave recordings. I do digital recordings, and I always leave recordings overnight, always. When nobody's there and we're all gone, I still leave them recording regardless.
I was waiting for that, Brian.
Yes.
Saw Brian's comment. I was waiting for that.
That's why they call me the SB7 Whisperer. Absolutely love the SB7.
Yeah, SB7's great. I don't like SB11s. I don't like SB57s. I don't like anything. I like the SB7 is perfect because you don't do anything with it. There's nothing. You turn it on. It's like the old-fashioned Frank box or a ghost box, whatever you want to call it. It's like that. It's just you let it go. You let it run. You turn it off. You mute it. You let it go till white noise. You put it on. You ask your questions, and that's it. That's it. It's just simple as that. And if and you get your answers. If you get no answers, you know, how old am I? Red. Then you know there's something fucked up, and you just ignore it. But there's a lot of times that there's very intelligent, precise answers that I cannot deny, and I can't say that it didn't work.
Yeah,
you know?
Agreed.
So, a great question for you. You are technically red years old, then.
What's that?
You're red years old?
Red years old?
Red years old.
What the fuck does that mean?
He was talking about your example. You asked how we don't actually.
I had to give you some crap.
You know, I've been wondering this, Doug, brother. Just please humor me. Do you have a filter on your camera, or are you just going for that antique look? Because that looks cool.
Yeah, it's a sepia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if maybe my glasses were dirty or
it's
things.
It's on purpose. It's a sepia one. Like you said, the antique photos is sepia. I do a sepia filter. I like it.
Beautiful. It looks great.
Yeah. Minicam. Do your things through Minicam, and it's free, and you can download the sepia filter, and it's awesome.
Right.
And free.
I love that.
$3.99.
Hey, I got a cool thing. How about you guys talk and I go pee?
Sounds good.
I can do that.
That's what happens when I'm on the show.
That's all right. I had one of my guests do that tonight too. Your boy Aaron.
Yeah, no, but seriously, it sounds like, you know, talking to Doug about paranormal in the Maritimes sounds super cool. Like something I definitely would love to scratch off my bucket list one day. Actually,
Yeah, he's got a one thing I really enjoy about all of my guests, and Doug. For those of you who aren't aware, I had Doug on my show multiple times back in the day. It's like last year. And he always has interesting stories. He always has very insightful and thorough stories. And he has so many locations and so many things. And he's very knowledgeable, very
Mhm.
knowledgeable.
Absolutely.
He's right. He can talk. I mean, Marcus, how many times have we been on the phone for 2 hours?
Oh, forever. Like,
Him and I will you sit there for 4 or 5 hours.
dang.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what? That's a good conversation because in this field, there's always a lot of stuff to talk about. Never
yeah.
fails. You get on a show, and even if you have planned out questions, you never use all of them because you always run into something new that you want to ask.
Yep. And then at
So
the end, it's like, well, shit. We should have asked that.
Exactly.
Mm.
Hey, how was your pee?
It was amazing. It was life-changing, actually. It was.
I see colors now in different spectrums. I've been awakened.
Portal.
Hey, well, that's the thing. Okay, well, let's just say this. This is my show. I shouldn't be asking this, but this is your show. But what psychics, no psychics. What's your take?
So on our team, we have quite a few mediums actually.
Right.
But a couple of them are out of state right now, and on Friday, depending on whether if Lisa and her daughter can come, I won't have a single medium. And I've used mediums with almost every investigation that we've did. So it's going to be really interesting to see how an investigation is going to go without a medium. Are we going to get different responses? Or, things going to be justified different than
Yeah.
as if a medium could clarify that this EVP that we just got, or an explanation of what something looked like, and that
Right.
medium can see that person. I want to see how different it is. I'm not opposed to a medium though, or a psychic.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, this is kind of, I guess it goes to the whole layering of investigations. What I was saying before about doing the baseline, then getting the story and getting the preempting. So I guess I can't say I'm not a fan of mediums because I haven't worked enough with them. But I think with the history and the baseline and the story of the place, and then maybe placing the medium interacting after your investigation. Does that make sense?
It does.
Because then they could kind of put your evidence together in a sense if they are indeed psychic or a medium.
Yes.
Because if they tell you something ahead of time, this is my thing again. I'm so, I don't know, I'm very Houdini like, I guess, because the whole preempting thing is that if you do an investigation and someone says, I don't know, the couch, there's something about the couch, there's the couch, this keeps calling me, then you're going to be doing the investigation on the whole fucking couch all the time. But if you do your baseline, your investigation, your interview, and then you bring the medium in, and then you let them walk through, and then they say, okay, there's something about that couch. And you're like, well, holy shit, not at the same time, but afterwards you're like, wow, she pointed out the couch. Look at this crazy SLS we had at the couch. Look at this audio we got from it. Look at the K2 is going crazy on this couch.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of bring it in. But that's when I would prefer to use the medium is after investigation. Yeah. Because that would tie everything together. To me, if I had hits on things and got information and then a medium come in and said they were a psychic or a medium, and then they come in and did that, that would impress the fuck out of me if they come in and tied everything together. That'd be amazing.
Absolutely. That's that. Yeah. Man, you are just full of good ideas. I swear.
Don't bank on it all the time because I'm not always full of good ideas.
Hey, he came on my show.
Yeah, that wasn't very smart.
That wasn't a good idea. No,
No.
it wasn't.
Hey, what are you talking about? You've done it too. That's what I thought.
Blackout.
All right, so Doug, I have a couple more questions here for you.
Do it up. Let's do it.
All right, so I want to know and I've asked this to many guests before. Matt, I think I've asked it to you. Out of anywhere in the world,
Alcatraz.
Anywhere in the world, yes. Distance don't
Alcatraz.
Distance don't matter.
Hi, copyright office. Yeah, this is
Alcatraz.
That's for you, Brian. That's for you.
It'll always be Alcatraz for me.
Alcatraz.
Always.
All right.
I always have a background in police foundations and corrections.
What?
And I did a lot of reports and investigating on prisons and jails and all that stuff too. And I have the reports and I have the list of all the prisoners in file format back in 1994 of all the prisoners in Alcatraz. I had all the books in Alcatraz, all that stuff. So I always I would give my left testicle to go to Alcatraz. If anybody would pay, I would go. I swear to God, I would go because there's so many places. And I even had a correspondence with a guy that was in Alcatraz. His name was Leon Whitey Thompson. And he was actually in Alcatraz for, I think it was 10 years. And then he got released and he used to do tours of Alcatraz Island as well. So I'd love to go see Whitey's cell and just be able to go see the Birdman cell and where Capone was. And I would kill to see Alcatraz. That's one of the things to me that is just full of history and just amazing things to me.
Absolutely. Well, you heard the man. Everybody pack up. We're going to Alcatraz.
If that's the case, then I lose my testicles. So let's be clear on this, okay?
We'll talk to Christy first. So how about this? We go up to New Brunswick, investigate, talk to Christy about the whole testicle thing, and then we'll go to Alcatraz.
And then go. It might be, just a little snip.
Probably a smart idea. Just that one, though.
Yeah, just the one. Just the one.
Well, if it helps, I heard you can donate for like what, 10 grand or something like that.
I would love to. Oh my God, I would kill to go to Alcatraz. I would. Now, if I could find a way to raise the money and go, I would fucking do it. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Amber, you're see-through.
That would be so fun.
I don't care. I need my personal heater.
Even if we could do that, you know what? Seriously, if we could do that and like a group of us could go, like 10, 15, 20 people, and we know how much it was, and we can do like a big fundraiser and go there, I would do it.
Well, there's your answer. Unfortunately, an overnight investigation is $24,000.
Easy.
Yeah.
Doug,
you get 20 people, that's $1,000 a person. That's it.
No, it's easier. We don't need everybody. Doug, you donate one.
Yeah.
Marcus, you donate one. I'll donate one. There's 30 grand right there.
I am not in this. What the hell?
And then Doug and I will go.
I think. Oh man, I would do it.
Oh no, I'm still going to Alcatraz.
I would do it in a second. Man. I would.
You think I would, Matt? You think I would give up a testicle for you?
Hey Kendra,
that's getting pretty. That's getting pretty emotional now. That's like. Would I give up?
Moving on to the next question.
Hey, actually, I do have to get going, but I just wanted to pop on, obviously, to show my support, obviously, to my Minnesota family, but also
appreciate it
to you, Doug. And also, I wanted you to know, Doug, first, that shit's being thrown, but also, look familiar?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of missing.
I am going to be taking this on the USS North Carolina with me.
Oh, no way. Are you really?
Yes, I am. I'm going to be investigating in March. I'm going to be in uniform, but I am going to be taking this along with me, and I keep it right here in my studio along with the Canadian flag you guys sent me.
Oh, that's awesome. I think you should take that with you. That'd be sweet.
I definitely am. I'm going to wear it proudly.
It'd be cool to see if you get any type of reaction from that too as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to do it in honor of you, brother. I really appreciate it. And
Yeah.
my wife is requesting more of that soap.
Soap.
Yeah, sure, we
That
can do
was
that.
why,
We can
though.
do that.
But anyway, Marcus, I
love
loved
Thanks,
you
man.
know jumping in.
Appreciate it very
Doug,
much.
always a pleasure, brother. Send my love to the family, man. I'm really
Yeah,
glad to see you guys are feeling better.
You too, Mark. I had to give that
Anyway.
little slap in the face. I'm sorry.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And everyone out there, have a great night, guys. Love
Yeah,
y'all.
take care, man.
Thanks, man.
Take care.
See you later. What a great guy. He's so fun to talk to, I
He
swear.
can be if you pay him enough. He'll be fantastic. He is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about the money for that guy, you know?
It is. It's all about the Benjamins, like they say.
Yep. It's all about the funds.
But no, I'm
Yeah.
serious though. I think that the whole thing, well, actually what Matt and them are doing with the whole para-unity thing too as well. And it's not about even just cooperating together and having like a Rolodex of places. I think that the cool thing is if we found one massive place that everybody could go. If we said, okay, this group, if we had like 5 or 6 groups of X amount of people and we could do a certain area and it's going to cost this much and do that even once a year.
Yeah.
And then we all know how much it's going to be. We all fundraise. We all do this. Everything's going to happen. We can all do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool because
you know what? If Matt is right, he actually had a good point. If we get 24 people together and have each person invest $1,000, dude, we can go to Alcatraz and investigate.
And it's no big deal. Well, $1,000 in Canadian is like about 8,000. But no, I'm just kidding.
Holy shit!
Just kidding.
Oh my god!
But, I think it's possible, and I think that's the cool thing about it is that after all this gets done, this what do you
COVID
with the COVID, the bullshit and all that stuff,
right?
It'd be cool to do something like that. Okay, every year when you do a convention or you want to do something and you have 8 or 10 teams that get together, next year we're going to do, I don't know, well, Matt's from Pennsylvania, so we say everybody's going to do Gettysburg, and next year everybody's going to do this place, the sanitarium, or where you are or something, and the next place we're going to do this. And then everybody can get together and raise the funds and everybody can do that. So say if it's near you and it doesn't cost you anything, but you're raising money for everybody else to come. Or if I'm here and there's something really expensive, then I'm raising money for other people to come check it out with me. And I think that's cool too, because that's the whole thing about para-unity as well is raising the funds to help others to come explore with you and enjoy it and stuff too. Right?
And you know, I've said it multiple times and I'll say it over and over again. It's not all about, I absolutely disagree with charging anybody for anything.
No, absolutely not.
And like you said, you know, raising those funds for other people to join is true para-unity because
that's cool.
You're showing that person, you know, I'm gonna get this money for you to get here because I really want you to go to this place with me.
Absolutely. You know? If it costs me $0 to go there because I'm here, and and you can still raise $1,000 for someone. You can put that in the pot, at least $1,000 for someone to come to you. Then that's fantastic. I think that's still a massive part of para-unity is helping each other explore different areas that you would never ever could possibly conceive about doing. And I think that'd be a cool thing to do is that if every year, I'm getting out of context here because I'm not even part of this whole crew, but if you could do even an annual thing where everybody could get together and fundraise to do one thing that nobody could ever imagine about doing, like I said, like Alcatraz or where you are, or maybe a place in, who knows, even a place in Europe or like Vlad's castle in fucking Romania or something like that,
right?
Or you know, someplace like that, and or even the I'll say it, the Lizzie Borden house or something, you know, different places like that. it'd be amazing that everybody could just help
Absolutely.
each other out. It might cost me $20. It might cost you 2,000,
Yep.
but we all work together to make it even for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Right, charging my computer here because she's dying on me. So, but Doug, I do have one final question for you, and then I'm going to open up a Q&A session
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the viewers for them to ask you questions.
Oh God, are you serious? Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. Where can everybody find Paratime Investigations right now?
Well, I'm kind of elusive right now. You can find me on Facebook with Paratime Investigations. You can just search that. YouTube, I have a few videos there. Hopefully, going to be adding at least another dozen or two more this year because I have, like I told you, I don't want to spoil it because there's a lot of weird shit going on this year. But yeah, you can find us on YouTube and Facebook for sure. Website to come maybe, but we'll do that when we come to it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
100% agree with you. All right, guys. So everybody leaving the chat right now, thank you for joining. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who has joined recently. Now is your chance. If you are curious about anything about Paratime Investigations, now is your chance to ask because Doug is here.
Yes.
We've had some great questions and some great people in the comments, and definitely a great show. I definitely loved having you on the show tonight.
You fucking better like me on the show.
What's that?
I said you better fucking like me on the show.
That's it.
Oh, someone doesn't like me on the show. She doesn't sound like it. Oh no.
Oh, baby.
He's still on.
So my lead investigator has posted the links in the chat for Paratime.
Oh, awesome. Thanks a lot.
She has been moderating the podcast for us. So thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that.
You can ask me anything. I'll be open and honest. I am very blatant and blunt.
And you know what? If you miss your opportunity to ask Doug a question on here, you could just type in Paratime Investigations on Facebook.
Yeah.
Send them a message because you know what?
And transfer me $100 and I'll answer your question anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're like Matt, then just send him some money.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Matt's the one with his hand open. So
yeah, that's right. That's so true.
All right. So yeah. So if anybody has questions, now's your chance. Doug, do you have any questions for Minnesota Spirit Hunters?
Actually, I would like to know. I was curious when you first started talking to me. I would like to know more about. I think you said the Boyd House.
Yes.
What's the story of this house?
Okay, so the Boyd House. It's in a small town in Minnesota, and actually, you can see in the opener where it says it populates just a little over 100 people.
Yeah.
So it's a really small town. Yeah, like 175 or so. That's how many people are there.
Wow,
it is one big house in the middle of town, owned by a paranormal team called St. Croix Paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner of the house is Joe Shelley, which will be on Matt's show coming up in February or March. I don't remember what day, but it's this big house that they have purchased and opened it for paranormal investigations. What's
up with it? Like, why is it such a draw?
You know, it's a good question because a lot of people have been to the Boyd House. Actually, there you go. Lisa has posted the link right there for the Boyd House.
Awesome.
So, and Doug, we have an episode of that on our YouTube. I will send you the link to that as well.
Yeah.
And definitely check that out because we got some pretty amazing stuff there. Honestly, one of my favorite investigations yet because we got so much activity and it was just fun. 21 hours of being locked in and hanging out with the team and associating and all that. A lot of fun.
So what pisses you off? What annoys you the most during an investigation?
About the Boyd House?
No, not about the Boyd House, but just investigation in general, what are some things that just kind of you don't like doing? You don't like that tick you off?
Well, for one, I am very big on validation.
Yeah.
Everything has to be validated, and if it's not, then we're not going to use it.
Yeah.
Because I in the paranormal field, I absolutely hate people. You know, I don't hate people, but I hate when people fake their evidence. There
Yeah.
is nothing worse than somebody faking paranormal evidence,
Yep.
because what's the fun in that, you know?
No, I totally
Um,
agree with you.
I have talked to somebody else before, and list yourself as an actor, because if you are acting like you got paranormal evidence,
Yeah.
you are obviously an actor on YouTube.
Yeah. Get
Now
the
there's a
Screen
difference.
Actors Guild Award or something. Yeah.
Exactly. Now there's a difference between a person who fakes their paranormal equipment and then people like us who want validation. If it's not
Absolutely.
validated, it's not true
I
evidence.
don't like it. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I'm
And
the same way. I'm the
it
same
is
way.
the most frustrating thing in the field, I can tell you that.
I would rather sit for 48 hours and have 5 seconds of something that I find
Exactly.
interesting than go somewhere and find 50 things all the time. If I go someplace or if I hear somebody and I see somebody go here and here and here and they're like, we found this, we found this, we found this, we
Yep.
found this all the time, then I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't get that.
Exactly. And thank you, Matt, for that. Put for entertainment purposes only in your videos. Couldn't agree more. You know what? Because when I click on a video, and honestly, clickbait is a really big thing in the paranormal field.
Oh my
A lot
God.
of people use what's that?
It's you're right. It's so bad.
Yeah.
And they'll say like, 3 a.m. witch face appears or something, 3 minutes, 20 something seconds, and you click it, and what the hell is this? And
Okay, so I'm gonna say this now. Before I became a paranormal investigator and before I started a team, anything, I did a lot of YouTube videos. And I started off by doing like challenges and stuff. After a while, it piqued my interest with paranormal. So I started doing paranormal videos.
That's cool.
If I could tell you this, I don't care anymore because I don't do it anymore and it's not my thing. Everything that I did for paranormal, I faked it. You know why? Because I wanted the views.
You get the views, exactly.
Exactly. And all the stuff that I did, and I don't care that I'm saying this right now because I don't care if people watch it or not.
No, it doesn't matter because exactly. You did what you did, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can honestly tell you, there's this thing on a lot of YouTubers' channels called the 3 a.m. Ghost Paper Challenge.
The 3 a.m. challenge. Yeah.
Yep. So what I did is I watched these videos and I got interested, so I wanted to try it myself. You know how dumb I looked there? Look, sitting there sliding a piece of paper under the door, waiting for a ghost to write a response. I looked so dumb doing that. So I'm like, this is not working. I'm not getting any views. This is boring. So decided to spice it up and I faked everything. I put somebody behind that door and I said, write in a creepy font and send it back to me as if a ghost had did it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people like that. Like I used to follow a lot of people on YouTube because I assumed that they were paranormal experts and whatnot too as well.
Exactly.
I forget the guy, Omar something. He's bullshit. And, he's got like million something views. And there's this guy from Canada, actually, I think his name, Mo Sargi. And I used to watch him as well. And I used to be so intent. I used to be like, oh my God, are you serious? And then the more I started watching, I was like, wait a second. How come everywhere you go, something happens? That doesn't make sense. How can you go somewhere every time and there's a spirit that walks behind you, or there's something slams or breaks behind you, or something closes or responds? It's impossible. It's impossible. And that's the same thing with certain paranormal groups. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody as well, but there's no such thing as going to every goddamn place and something happening every time. I've been to places sometimes 2 and 3 times and nothing happens. And then I'd go for the 4th time and something happens, but you can't go to something every time and something happens along the way. If that happens, then that is, to me, I'm sorry, that to me, that's clickbait.
Yep.
And I don't believe in that. To me, paranormal, maybe at best 25% of the time, 25%, maybe.
Yeah.
But other than that, if you go somewhere and shit happens all the time and you have crazy videos and all this stuff, I don't want to watch you. I don't want to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you know what, Lisa? I was reading your comment, and I'm not ashamed that I shared that about myself.
No, I think that's actually good, because that's really intelligent to for people to know that, right?
Yeah.
That they can't be.
And you know what? If anybody wants to watch the videos that I did, they are super cool, because this ghost paper challenge is you're supposed to write a question on a piece of paper, send it under the door, and get a response from the spirit. Well, obviously, a spirit's not going to respond to you on paper.
No. No.
So I obviously put somebody behind the door, and I had them write back and send it back to me.
I think that's great for you to say that, because there's so many young kids. Even my daughters will watch people do 3 a.m. challenges and stuff, not even just for ghosts, but for anything, and they believe it. I'm like, just watch it for fun. Don't believe that it happens. Just watch it for fun. And that's exactly why, like you said, people want to create the clickbait, so they do things to make people go, holy shit,
Yeah, and you know what? Back then, I did not own a paranormal team. I did not own anything, and I done all this stuff, and I played with all kinds of different stuff to try to communicate with spirits.
Yeah.
Well, when I went to this one person, because when I started my first team, I went to this one person to do an interview to put her on the team. Right. Well, she sits me down. She doesn't even know me. She sits me down. She said, I was watching one of your YouTube videos. Do you know how dangerous and stupid that was of you to do that? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Because I had no idea how to communicate with the damn spirit back then.
Yeah.
I was doing it for fun, and I was doing it to get the views.
Do it. Yeah, exactly.
Back then, all I cared about was popularity on YouTube and getting noticed as a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Now, my mindset does not go to views. My mindset goes to doing these investigations, helping our clients, and helping the spirits.
I agree. I'm the same boat. I would rather have 10 views on something extraordinary than a million views on something fake.
Exactly. And you know what? The 5 views that we got right now, I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Some people who do their podcasts, it'll say 32,000 views when they're live. Great, good for them. And yes, it would be awesome to have 32,000 people watching us right now.
Eventually, in 10 years down the road, we'll have 30,000 views.
Exactly. But these 5 views right now, I could be talking to you right now and nobody would be watching. So I am thankful for those 5 views.
Yeah, because that's extra people that want to listen to the bullshit we say.
Exactly.
And and advice, and not even just advice, but just different opinions, because you have different opinions and I have different opinions, and we kind of bang together. And I think that's important with anything, be it paranormal or fucking fishing or goat hunting or whatever you do.
Yeah.
Goat hunting. I don't even know there's goat hunting. I don't know.
I was about to say that sounds a little off.
That's a little weird, but that was just off the top of the head. But I think that's important, though, is that people should be able to bounce views off things. If you watch something mainstream all the time, if you had 10 million views, you could say anything you goddamn well wanted to, and people will agree with you, and you'll get 100,000 likes, and you'll get $10,000, and everything will be fun.
Yep.
But if you start speaking your mind and sharing opinions and sharing ideas, you don't get a lot of people listening or watching, but eventually you do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the thing is, you could have a lot of people watching you and everything, and then when you start to speak of the truth in the way that it is, some of those people get butt hurt. They don't want to hear what you have to say, and they're going to unsubscribe. They're not going to want to listen to you. They're not going to watch your episodes or anything anymore. And guess what? Bye.
Well,
you know what?
You
don't want to hear what I have to say. What I'm having to say is absolutely true. And if you don't agree with me, well, then, just remove yourself, because I'm not about the negativity.
If you hurt someone's feelings, that's too bad, because really, and I'm not being a bully as well, because people say things that I don't agree with. There's a lot of people. I mean, I could name a lot of people that say things that I don't agree with, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to hate that person. I'm going to dislike that person, because I can't discredit what they say, because I've never done that. I've never been there. I've never tried that. So I think that that's important for people. If they disprove people, if they get their chest all stuck in the air and they be, little assholes, then, and they unsubscribe or they leave, then, let them, because I think that is, for some reason they get defensive about that. So that means either they fake something, or they did something inappropriate that doesn't really cooperate with the whole paranormal field, I think. So for that, I say screw them.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I definitely would love to get you back on the show. I think we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, hour and 47. That's not bad, man.
Yeah, exactly. I had a lot of fun. But like I said, if anybody has any questions that they didn't ask Doug right now, just search up Paratime Investigations, send them a message. And so far, Doug, I think you're a fun person to talk to. So
absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely. And I don't mind talking about anything. Just hit me up anytime, even if we're not talking. Just shoot me a message. We'll talk about stuff.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, you know what? We're going to wrap it up, but thank you so much for coming on the show. And
man.
I will talk to you after the show about coming back on the show, because I think it'd be a lot of fun again.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Take care, man.
All right. We'll see you later. Good night.
Cheers.
All right, guys. Well, that was Doug Curtis of Paratime Investigations. First ever time he has been on the show, and couldn't be more happy. I think he would be great to come back. So a quick word that go over to dsghost.com, our sponsor, and get 10% off of your order by using code MNSH on already low prices. I'm getting a crabby baby here, so we're going to wrap it up. But yeah, a lot of fun. Thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week when we have, who do we got? We have Victor Santiago next week. So if you're watching, Victor, can't wait to talk to you. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun as well. So you're all going to want to see that. So until next time, you guys have a good night and happy hunting.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.